welcome back.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Last year we covered 70.3 World Championships at Chattanooga, and we are back this year to cover 70.3 World Championships in Port Elizabeth, South Africa.
Beautiful.
So, what a fellow YouTuber is racing in World Championships.
Yeah, good luck to all the age group people who qualified for 70.3 World Championships.
So, specifically, talking about you, man. Triathlon Terran, congratulations to him.
Yeah, he's been killing it.
He's been killing it on the content game. He's out there. Follow his vlogs if you want to see what's up. He went on a vacation, man. I don't. That's a lot of time in Port Elizabeth, but.
Well, we always say racecation, right?
Yeah. So I think he'll be fully adjusted. 7-hour time difference. It takes a while, but apparently it's cold. So,
which is hard for us Arizonans, desert dwellers.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. But I gotta say,
Mm-hmm.
you just looking at age group athletes, the guy qualified at Ironman Texas and then spent, all winter.
70.3 Austin.
70.3 Austin, and then spent all winter training specifically for this, and I think he's said a bunch of things about what he's going to do, and he's just like, well, the environment's completely different than what I necessarily thought it was going to be. So I think the dude's gonna have a great time. I think he might even get a PR, but shout out to Triathlon Terran.
Yeah, there's a lot of people racing that are really prepared, as well as the pro fields are really stacked this year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good time in South Africa.
So, let's go over our top three. We've dug through the start list. Who's your snub? Who are you leaving out?
Oh man. We didn't prepare for this.
We did prepare for this.
Who am I leaving out? Well, there's a lot. Emma Pallant, Mel Hoschmidt, I think is how you say her name. Sarah True, who's an American up-and-comer from the ITU circuit. So it's a really, really impressive women's pro field.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to choose a snub because we were only doing our top three, and I would say probably any of these 10 women have a shot. Well, spoiler alert on my choices. The rest of the women have a shot at Chase and Daniela, but have a shot at second. But I think on the day there's a lot of really great women in the field, and so it's easy to pick a snub.
Yeah.
What about for the men?
Well, for the men, I mean, it's a stacked field. It's not you're missing. Lionel Sanders, he did not submit his name for this race. He qualified. He would have been able to go if he wanted to do, but he did Ironman Montreal in Quebec as his pre-Kona workup, and took second behind Cody Beals, who is legit. You've got, this is a stacked race. You've got Javier Gomez, Sam Appleton, Jan Frodeno in the top 3 seeds. Then you've got last year's second place finisher, Ben Canute, who's I think we're at 7th. It's kind of weird. And then, it gets interesting towards the bottom. Alistair Brownlee. Whoever calls him Ali, you need to stop, because Ali's a girl's name. Alistair Brownlee, so we'll call him Al. He's been in 3 70.3s and won them all. So that leads into it. My number 3, which would be a crazy upset. He's nursing an injury, is Alistair Brownlee. I want to see this dude just crank and get after it. Pretty sure he's got a shot here to do that. So he's only been in 3 70.3s his entire career, and he's won them all. I think that says a lot also when it comes to racing in the cold and rain and wind. Well, he's from the UK, so he's used to that. Who is your third place finisher?
You know, I am going to go with Anne Hogg. She is German. She is a former ITU person. She's up and coming, I would say. She joined triathlon late in her life, but she is just crushing it. She was second to Daniela Ryf at the 70.3 Bahrain Mid-East Championships this past year. She won 70.3 Oceanside recently. She won 70.3 Dubai.
Oh, she beat Daniela Ryf at Mid-East Championships.
That is
Daniela
correct.
Ryf took second at Mid-East Championships.
So they were, you know, she's been doing really well. So she is my pick, and everyone talks about just how resilient and how just strong she is. And another shout out to Triathlon Taryn. When the Iron Woman podcast and the Live Feisty Media is broadcasting live from some Ironman events, I know they were at Oceanside. They were just talking about just how strong and mentally tough Anne is, and that's something that I remember, and so I think she's going to have a good race.
So for me, the 2-hole is going to be Ben Canute, last year's 7.3 World Championship runner-up. But let's talk about his race this year and just looking and see what he's done. You know, he was the Island House champion. You take all the multidiscipline athletes from sprint, tri, all the way to the Ironman athlete, and this guy won Island House. He is also the 2-time defending now Escape Tri-Series Alcatraz Championship winner. So that's, I mean, yes, it's a shorter distance event, but when Ben needs to crank, he knows how to crank. And you know, he was also there for was it Ironman 70.3 Houston, the one in Houston, 70.3 Texas. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there was 70.3 Austin, and then there was Ironman.
So Ironman Texas, yeah,
I
that
think there was
red.
also
Yeah, so
7.3.
He was also in Ironman Texas. That was an interesting race for everyone else.
Yeah, the course was a little short, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure. The course was a little short on the bike. So, what about you?
Okay, so number 2 I have is Lucy Charles. She, if you look at the start list, she's number 43 on the start list, but don't let that fool you. It's nothing but a number. Just because she hasn't done as many Ironman branded races recently, but she did. I mean, she won, or she came in second, I should say, at the Ironman World Championships Kona last year. Just kind of took the world by storm. She's 24 years old and just crushed it. And so she is the runner-up to in the World Championships. She also was 9 seconds away from winning Challenge Roth this past July, which is people always talk about Kona and Challenge Roth as being these two just milestone amazing races, and so she's done really well at both of those. She won Ironman South Africa, and she won Challenge.
She was first in the water in South Africa.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is she's a former professional swimmer. She's an amazing swimmer. And she's a great runner, and her bike's really solid, and so she's really, really strong at the longer distance, and I don't think she's done as many of the 70.3s, but I would say she's just so strong, and she's coming up so fast and with such presence that you can't count her out. Even though she's number 43 on the list, I would say she's top 3 in this race.
And, you know, for the men, rounding it out, and the cool thing about this race is it's split over 2 days. The men are on their own stage, and the women are on their own stage, so even for age groupers, so that's really cool. But for the men, for taking it, you know, like we talked about snubs, I said Javier Gomez. I just don't. I think he could be number 4. He could also be number 3, but you know,
we agree to disagree on Javier
I'm going with my gut here.
But,
as far as look for Jan Frodeno to this be his Kona shakeout. This is going to be the preview. He won 70.3 Oceanside, just sort of dusting Lionel Sanders at the beginning of qualification for World Champion 70.3 World Championships. And it's really with the way he's running right now, the way he's racing, it's kind of over. I expect Frodo to come back, ready to go guns blazing at Kona.
I mean, that championship mentality. He is like an OG champion, and same here with Daniela Ryf. She has just won so many races, and she's just been so consistent. It's hard to bet against her at this point. I really think. I think you say the same for the World Championships, so we're not quite there yet. This is the 70.3 distance, but I still think she's going to take it. She won Kona. She's the defending 70.3 champion. She won in Chattanooga last year. She is the defending world champion in Kona last year. Has won Kona several times in a row. I think that's 3 times in a row now. She won at 70.3 Switzerland this year, which is kind of a home race for her because she's from Switzerland. And just it seems like at this point, it's not whether Daniela is going to win, it's how many men is Daniela going to beat. And that's incredible. And so I think at this stage, I like Kona last year was really interesting how she and Lucy Charles were 1 and 2. And I think there's a potential for them to be 1 and 2 in this race, and then again in Kona, and that's kind of a rivalry coming up. But she's just so consistent.
So this race is going to be funny because Daniela's really not the I guess front of the pack swimmer, so she could be in the second pack in the water, and then she could just make it up. But if Lucy Charles gets far ahead in the water, it could make this thing for an interesting race, and the tactics could change where at Kona, Danielle caught her on the bike. Mm-hmm. She might have to catch her on the run.
Yeah, I think Lucy's run has really improved in the past year. I'm just a Lucy fan. I mean, I follow all of them, but I think Lucy's put in a lot of hard work building on that momentum from the second place finish in Kona, and I think we're set up for a showdown. But I think ultimately Daniela is she's just racing at the top of her game. That really,
well, everyone talks about the Iron War, right? I think
it's hard to
it wasn't just the Iron War. It wasn't just that one race that was the Iron War. It was a decade of finishing second, right? And so what we could see here, because of Daniela's age, I mean, she's in the peak, whereas Lucy Charles is even younger. But because of where this is going, Daniela could be at the top of triathlon still for the next 5 years.
Yeah,
because she's all right.
Which is crazy because Daniela still has a long ways to go. Lucy's a little younger, so she's really just breaking on the stage. But with my top 3 and Hug, she is a little bit older than, and she doesn't have as much experience on the long distance stage, but she's just so mentally tough. So it's really difficult to tell. It's such an interesting race, and South Africa is beautiful and hilly and windy, and it'll be
apparently it's going to be freezing.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
So I hope you brought your booties for the swim, and hope you brought a jacket for the ride. Well, look forward to watching this race, I think on recording, because it will probably be over by the time we wake up.
Yeah, we're across the world from the action, which last year it was in Chattanooga. It's a little more central too. I know a lot of the people from local race clubs were headed to Chattanooga last year. So we've dealt with injuries this year. We haven't been around the race circuit as much, but still been following along, still been paying attention, and still excited to give our predictions.
And we'll see you next week with a recap of Ironman 70.3 World Championships.